Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
You are listening to Living Lighter Radio. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio.
Living Lighter provides a revolutionary way to address what's truly holding you back. We have the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter.
Join us now for a Living Lighter experience. This is Living Lighter Radio, and I'm Patricia. I'm here with my husband, Jason, and today we're talking about essence and what happens when you're using it every day. We have a special Memorial Day message in the third segment of today's show, so stay tuned. When we come back, excuse me, we're starting. We're still here, everybody. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. So, Jason?
Okay. So Patricia's going to tell us a story about what happens when you access your essence. And most of our knowing comes from outside information. Your essence knowing comes from an unlimited source of intelligence. So Patricia, go ahead, tell us the story, and
okay.
We're going to talk about it afterwards and how that affects, how that's an example of how you use your essence.
Well, and I want to say that the stories today that we have are, all of them are about how our essence is being used or blocked. And so, stick with us, everyone. And by the way, this is kind of an interesting story, and it really touches my heart. So if you hear that in my voice, it is real. So, more than a few years ago, well, in our family, we, when we go to the doctor, we always take somebody else with us. And mostly it's because we know and have learned 4 eyes are better than 2 and 4 ears are better than 2. And so with that said, I went to a doctor appointment with one of our daughters more than 10 years back. And this was an initial appointment that she had with this new doctor, that it was the only gynecologist that her insurance would accept. So, okay, there was that. And 14 years prior, when she was 14 years old, she had cancer, just like her mother. By the way, I hate saying this, but I'm her stepmom, but that's not how I see her. So my daughter and I went to this appointment together. And she was approximately about 25 years old. I don't remember exactly. And of course, as you know, in a new appointment, you have to fill out history and family history and yada, yada, yada. So we went into the appointment. She did all the things she was supposed to do, meaning, derobe, so to speak. And she got up on the table. All was good. And the doctor came in. I was sitting there. And the doctor she looked at the history on the chart. She put the chart down and she said, well, let's see what we see. So she did the examination. She did a full gynecologist examination. And when she was done, she told my daughter that, she could sit up and okay, that was all great. And she said, I want to give you the initial results. And she did. And the initial results was, she said, I found everything to be just fine. I see no problems. And so with that, all seemed good. And she said, she took a step backwards and she said, but I'd like to discuss your history with you. And so when someone has cancer, you sort of expect that, but we did not expect what happened next. This gynecologist, a female gynecologist, said to my daughter, she said, I have some recommendations for you, and I recommend that you have a full and complete hysterectomy. By the way, she's not even 30 years old, everyone. Full and complete hysterectomy and a double mastectomy done. And you need to do that as soon as possible. There was this, of course, dead silence in the room, except for me. And I said, excuse me. And the doctor turned around and she said, I'm not talking to you. And I put up my hands like, oh, okay. I honestly did not know what to expect here. And what's running through my mind, and of course I find out later on, both my daughter and I are questioning, is there something wrong? Did she find something? Is there a lump? Is there a mass? What? And so there's this silence. And the doctor said to my daughter, she said, do you have any questions? And my daughter, who is bold, she said,
at times, yes.
Thank you. She said, no. And I mean, I was so stunned.
Tell her about the studies have found.
Well, so then the doctor said, well, the studies have found that, and I don't remember the numbers exactly, so please don't quote me on that one, this one, but she said approximately 65% of women who have had cancer before the age of, I think it was like
during puberty.
During puberty, when they're of childbearing years, this a cancer will reappear. And so we as the medical profession believe that you should have everything removed that cancer can attach itself to. And there was this silence again in the room. And my daughter said, does that mean I have cancer? And the doctor said, well, not that I can see at the moment, but you don't want to take any chances. And then, of course, there's still dead silence. And I looked at my daughter during all of this, and she turned white. And I mean, real white. And the doctor said, now, any more questions or any questions? And she said, no. She said, well, I'll have all of your results. You can pick them up, in the front desk or at the front desk on your way out. And she walked out of the room. And I sat there and I knew this was wrong. I knew this just wasn't right. And so I got up and I said to my daughter as I patted her on the leg, I said, you get dressed. And my daughter says to me, as I'm heading towards the door, she goes, Patricia, you don't have to do anything. And I turned around and I looked at her as best I could without just being, showing fire in my eyes. I said, yes, I do. And she said, well, and I walked out of the room. I couldn't do anything but. I said, I won't make a complete ass out of myself. Well, little to be. Anyway, I walked out. I closed the door very quietly and I walked up to the doctor that was writing things down on her little pad that she had. And I said, excuse me. And she turned around and looked at me like, who are you? And, she'd just seen me. And I said, are you aware of what you have just done? Are you aware what you just did to that girl that's sitting in that office right there? And she said, well, I did my job. And I said,
she said, told her the truth.
And she said, I did my job. I told her the truth. And I said, you don't know what the truth is. You treated her so poorly. I said, it's going to take a really long time for me to help my child recover from what you just did. You pulled up trauma. You basically told her she had no chance of wanting children or having children and that she should never have children. And I was livid. I was livid. And I said, you You have no idea. Your bedside manner is completely ridiculous, and you have zero compassion. In fact, I want you to know I'm seriously considering contacting the AMA about your approach to something you truly have no idea.
So tell her what she said.
At the moment, I'm still mad, Jason. Prompt me here. She basically told me that she didn't care. And she also told me that this is what the medical profession says needs to be done.
In other words, she was saying that I know the facts. I have the education.
Exactly.
The facts are behind me. And we know that.
Thank you, Jason.
That those statistics are really arbitrary, and they talk about a general population, but they're not talking about my daughter in particular. And just a side note, and we're running out of time for this segment.
We are.
When my wife was being treated, and they knew that she probably wasn't going to make it, her cancer was it was Hodgkin's disease. It was a lymphoma, and it was 85% curable. And a kindly old doctor, and this is the opposite kind of a doctor that she just talked to, or she's just talking about, said to me, that what that statistic means is that out of 100 people, 85% will live and 15% will die. And if you're part of the 15%, you don't care about the other 85%. And he had compassion. He knew what he was talking about. What this doctor did to my daughter, which I was really incensed when I heard about it also. But that's not the point. And I want to get to the point here, is that Patricia, she doesn't have college education. She confronted that doctor who had all these years of education behind her.
Big righteous attitude.
A big righteous attitude, and says, I know more than you. But Patricia knew in that moment, she had the confidence to know in that moment, because she was acting from her essence, that this was, first of all, not true for my daughter.
Right.
And second of all, didn't have to be true. And that we had power that came from us as parents and my daughter, from her essence, that would make her have a successful outcome for the rest of her life, whether that included children or not.
And I want to say this, by the way, our daughter has had clearing as long as we have. We started her out right away. There was no two ways about it. And now, more than 13 or 14 years since this appointment, she is now talking about children. And by the way, she is still cancer-free.
Yes. And very healthy, I guess, for the most part. So, again, we talk about, here are the key points from the story.
Right.
The confidence that came from her essence, from Patricia's essence, was her intuition, seeing the truth, lie detection, being a true healer. Patricia knew that what healing was and what it wasn't.
Right.
And
thank you.
We're going to go through some of the really quick, some of the practical traits from essence. Being a problem solver, being a relationship coach, having authentic motivation, being a success coach, healer, doctor, nurse. That's what happened in this situation. Intuitive.
Yes, big time.
Patricia knew that there was something really wrong. There was bad motives here, really badly. Being a guru, knowing the meaning of her life and her daughter's life.
Right.
Friend, confident, lie detector, knowing what's really spin, what's really factual, and what really isn't. And then the magician, the ability to use this magic in your life and for your loved ones.
Exactly.
So the key points today are removing the negative energy from your essence changes you.
Right.
And some abilities are enhanced and others that were unknown come forward. Forcing and manipulating yourself to do things is programming and toxic to essence.
Right.
And that the changes in your essence are subtle and profound at the same time.
Okay, so stay tuned when we come back. We're going to talk about removing negative energy from essence and how it affects you on the inside and on the outside. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. Awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
Tune in to the Astral Insider, your portal for adventure, insight, and growth with Fernando Albert. And get ready to tour the astral realm, expand your life in ways you've never imagined, and call in for the journey of your life with this world-renowned lucid dreamer, astral projectionist, psychic medium, and healer, Fernando Albert. This is every second and fourth Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
If you have a sense that you are meant for more, join Heather Allison every third Tuesday at noon Pacific as she explores an ancient, forgotten energy within us and helps us access our original archetypal blueprint. The Golden Path will help you remember the key to unlocking your life, love, success, and magic you were meant for. A key to unlocking your golden path. Visit heather-allison.com.
Are you ready to create a life you'll really love? Then you'll want to tune in to the hit show Life Design Radio, From Adversity to Awesome with Susan DiLorenzo. Live each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. No matter where you are in your adversity story, Life Design Radio has got you covered. Get ready to feel inspired, enlightened, and motivated. For more information about working with Susan, visit SusanDiLorenzo.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. We're talking about removing negative energy from Essence and how it affects you on the inside as well as the outside. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. I want to go back to the last segment for just a moment and say, here is a knowing. Some people would say after hearing that last story that, oh, it was just mother's instinct. But the truth is, it wasn't just mother instinct that I jumped up on, that I was very upset. The bottom line is that I saw that this person was treating my daughter like she was a machine. And she was coming from a very machine place as well.
And taking all the hope away.
And taking not only all the hope away, but she was then saying her machine knew more than what we knew.
Well, and I would say, just as a point of reference, is that mother's instinct typically comes from your essence.
Yes, and that was my point.
And husbands, typically, men are more susceptible to be programmed, and they lose those instincts,
right?
Whether it's mother or paternal or intuitive, right, with their connection with their kids.
Okay,
much more likely to program them than their mothers are.
Okay, so Jason, you promised to tell us some stories so we can understand what removing negative energy feels like from the inside.
There was a woman, I remember, who called me in a panic, and she had a mixture of anger, fear, and she told me the story about her boyfriend at the time. She was an older woman, and at the end, she almost was in tears. She was in tears, and she said, "You're not going to tell me that I can't see him anymore, are you?" And of course, we never tell anybody what to do. That's not who we are. But what happened was we worked together for about 8 years, and at the time that we started working, she was suffering from breast cancer, and it wasn't in remission; it was being treated, and she could have she could have died from the effects of breast cancer, and recently she did pass. But there was a long period of time that we extended her life, and clearly what happened is we started to clear was she developed the confidence to see her partner, and this guy that she was desperate to hang on to. She saw that he wasn't in her best interest, and she had the confidence to act on it and removed him from her life. So
what you would say that then it became, and it was an external thing, but it started.
The removal but started from the internal.
That's
yes.
right. Okay.
So, but I'm sure the boyfriend didn't see that she was growing. She didn't see
No.
her newfound confidence as positive. He saw it as very, very negative. And oftentimes when you start working at the level of your essence, people around you who expect you to be programmed a certain way and act a certain way, which comes from programming, may go away.
And also they always think that it's something wrong with you when you can see yourself. There's something becoming right with you.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So, and we see how the boyfriend saw it from the outside.
Yes.
Can you give us some other examples of inside and out?
We had a married couple, and they both told me at different times that the reason they continue to come and work with us was because they could see a difference in the other person.
Right.
They couldn't feel it in themselves, but they could see it in the other person.
Exactly.
And they both said it. So in other words, they were both benefiting from it. They could see it in each other, but they couldn't see it in themselves.
Well, and I'm going to jump in and say I remember when I very first started doing the clearing, I had gone to Thanksgiving dinner for the first time since I started, and not one, not two, not three, but more than that in my family came up to me at a different time during Thanksgiving dinner and its preparations and said, "What have you been doing to yourself? Things are so amazing. You not only look different, but you are different."
And that's on the outside. And where this married couple, they couldn't feel it on the inside yet,
right.
But they saw it, the difference in the other. But depending on how we define what's good and bad and what's proper behavior,
right?
If you define proper behavior as a form of programming, you may not get that with removing the negative energy from your essence, because what you get is authenticity.
Right.
We'll get the authentic you.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, Jason, what does it look like for individuals? I mean, we know what it looks like for individuals. There was a couple examples. What would it look like for a group?
One of the biggest effects of groups that have lots of negative energy in their essence is that when you have a group that gets together that has a lot of negative energy, there's no clearing, is that they get competitive, they fight, their jealousies, their hurt feelings, they break down in subgroups that fight amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what the group is for. It could be for a very positive purpose. A church, for example, or a positive movement for something, some positive benefit for their community.
Exactly.
But they get together and this negative energy starts to get. And here's the takeaway from that, is that this negative energy has always multiple ways to express itself, not only in an individual, but within a group.
Exactly. Okay, so what about in politics today? There's a lot of things about creating a new movement, and can the clearing work with that, Jason?
Well, of course it can work with in terms of a movement, and if you start clearing the group in general, it can be very, very positive.
Right.
But the problem up to now is that most movements don't use clearing. The negative energy is there, and even though the objective or the desire of the group is really positive and has a very positive benefit for society,
right,
invariably the negative energy starts to work, and there's they start to fight.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for married couples. We've seen married couples who are really well paired. The longer they're married, they start to fight, they start to compete. On the other hand, we have a couple married couples that we work with, and it's amazing because that negative energy that gets between them, we clear it away on a regular basis. It's phenomenal.
Exactly.
It's a very powerful effect of using this ecosystem approach.
Okay, so what about Is there a solution for the world today, Jason?
And this is my theory because it's
we haven't been able to approve it exactly. Is that what you mean?
We haven't been able to implement it yet.
But
and that's why we're on the radio today.
Okay.
If everyone started working on their own negative energy, and if there was a critical mass of people who were working on their own negative energy, the world would shift. And it doesn't require that you get rid of all of it, just a little bit. If you took 10,000 people, or even 10 people in a group of 3,000 or 4,000, and started removing just a little bit of negative energy on a regular basis for those 10, 100 people, whatever it is, critical mass, the whole group would shift.
Well, it's kind of like we've seen what has happened in my family. My family has shifted. I started, and then there's been others that have done the same thing.
And this shift happens because Patricia's shifted.
Yes.
We have this happen all the time where we have a person come to us because of their partner,
Yeah.
and the partner is awful, and they want us to help them change their partner.
Right.
And even if their partner is the devil's spawn or completely awful,
yes,
if they clear their stuff, then the partner has to shift.
Exactly.
If they clear their negative energy, their trauma from their essence, the partner has to shift.
Because the energy changes.
Yes.
All right, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Removing negative energy feels different from the inside. You feel more solid. Negative energy removal may not always look positive from the outside.
Okay.
For those who use programming as a frame, in other words, they live a life based on programming, removing negative energy can be invisible to them. And removing negative energy is always positive for the individual and for those around them.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about what you can do for yourself and the world in general to make it better. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Have you ever wondered if there's a way to heal the deep, hidden inner issues, wounds, beliefs, and traumas? The journey into spiritual healing engages people in all areas of their lives to heal themselves and others. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Dr. Jaffe brings conversations of healing of body, mind, and spirit as he merges the excellence of traditional medicine with the beauty of spiritual healing. For more information about Dr. Jaffe, this show, and his work, visit drjaffemd.com.
Disease, one of the most dreaded words in our vocabulary. Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know traditionally we have viewed disease as a degenerative process? Disease is better understood when we view it as dis-ease in the human body. Dis-ease means without ease. Health is not merely the absence of disease. It's when every part of the body works together effortlessly, relaxed and at ease. It's that relaxed state that lets energy flow in waves through and around the entire body. Every organ has an electrical charge, and when overcharged or undercharged, dis-ease occurs. And it is an effort to go through our day. We are able to determine the exact dis-ease of the body and design a specific solution to correct the nutritional imbalance. Contact us at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
It's time to get your life back on Burn Bright Today with Jennifer Marcinelli. Tune in each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Learn to move from the darkness of burning out to the light of burning bright. Jennifer is redefining stress and the energetic causes of burnout shining a light on process to get your life back. For more information about Jennifer and her work, visit burnbrighttoday.com.
Darcy Pariso is your connection to spirit, energy, and healing. You can meet Darcy in person at upcoming events throughout Seattle. Do you have questions about your animal companions, yourself, or do you desire to communicate with loved ones on the other side? Darcy will connect you and get answers. Darcy can also work with energy healing to help you and your animal companions feel more balanced and recharged. Visit darcypariso.com/events.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. We're talking about what you can do for yourself and the world in general to make it better. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. You know, Jason, this is a lot of information, and we've told some great stories today. How can we make it practical and helpful for everyone listening today?
Really easy. Start with yourself. Many people have come to us wanting to make a big difference. You know, saving the whales, planting a tree, cleaning the ocean, making sure that everybody has clean water to drink from. Those are important goals. I love those goals. But you always have to start with yourself first. And the reason why is that if you want to be sustainable, if you really want to make a difference, it's that negative energy in your essence that's going to trip you up. If you really want to do something amazing for the world, that 80% negative energy in your essence is going to distract you, keep you from doing it, block you. And so always start with yourself first.
And I want to say, those of you who think, well, no, that's not going to happen to me. I want you to know you're the ones that need to start today.
Yes. You know, if you focus on first with yourself, right where you're at, you don't have to, and you can start today. You can start right this minute, because in our first segment, we're going to do some clearing.
Exactly. But the other thing is, by the way, removing negative energy using the ecosystem approach is not being self-absorbed. It is the exact opposite of being self-absorbed.
It allows you to be more aware of others.
Yes.
You know, here's the other thing about saving the whale, or ecology type of aspirations.
By the way, are great.
You know, we have a president that doesn't think that global warming, isn't really real. He dismisses it. But the truth is that that's just an opinion. If you clear your essence knows that this type of intelligence we talked about earlier, that there is a problem. It doesn't even have to be, we don't even have to reference science or those studies. We just know there's a problem.
Exactly.
And it would be accepted because that source of intelligence, that source of intelligence would clarify a lot of political problems we have or differences we have right now, because we would just know.
Okay. And, I happen to know you're right. So, this is good. But I have a question for you. Jason, your first wife died of cancer. And we started with the story of our daughter who had cancer as well. By the way, the same type of cancer. What would happen if science discovered, and we're hoping for this, a cure for cancer and other diseases? What would happen?
Okay. If you understand this concept, which is really important, that negative energy has infinite flexibility to express itself in different ways.
Right.
So if you cure one type of cancer, it can express itself in a different type of cancer. Where in medical profession says if you're cancer free for 5 years, you're cured, which may not necessarily be the case at all.
Right.
And but here's what happens if we were to find a cure for cancer.
Okay.
That negative energy would just find other ways to express itself in you.
And I was going to say, and might not be in your best interest. That is true.
What we see is that it may not take a physical approach. It might take an emotional approach.
Okay.
It might make it more difficult for us to get along with other people. It might, anger, suicide, All those are manifestations of negative energy that's in our essence.
Okay. So, all right. So I like that. Remember, negative energy moves around. It doesn't stay still.
Yes.
But, I know you had a Memorial Day story, and today is Memorial Day. And I just want to say, I want to honor all of those who have given their lives for us. I can't begin to tell you how much that touches my heart.
Well, let's punctuate it a little bit.
All right.
Remember the example I gave earlier about the woman who called, and she was afraid that I was going to tell her that she'd have to get rid of her boyfriend. Well, her father had been a World War II fighter pilot, and he died in the Pacific Rim, and he never came back. And she was just a little girl, but that abandonment from her father broke her heart. And for the rest of her life, and she was in her 60s when we first met, that she talked about, explicitly or in vague terms about having a broken heart, and that she was waiting for some hero to come and save her.
Right.
And she found all these men who looked like heroes on the outside, but when she got up close, they were not heroes, which was this boyfriend that we talked about, who she eventually let go. But this lineage of pain. Mm-hmm. So not only did her father sacrifice his own life, but the fact is that there was pain that came from this daughter who was waiting for a father to come and rescue her all of her life. So when we think about Memorial Day and we think about the sacrifices, these men and women who died defending our country, it's more than that, because there's generations and generations of pain that happen when these people die because of what they could have done and they weren't able to do.
Exactly. So, Jason, we've done 2 shows on Essence now. And what is the most important takeaway for an individual and the world in general?
I would like to encourage everyone who's listening today to start a silent movement to change the world by starting right now with yourself. And you do that change by starting to heal, starting to remove some of the negative energy in your essence today, right now. And if you make this commitment to yourself, all you have to do is tune into our show every week and do the clearings at the end that we do, sign up for our newsletter, and you can start this movement today, and start with yourself. It's the easiest way to start. You don't have to get anybody else involved. You don't have to get on social media. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is start removing some of the negative energy for you.
Well, they can get on social media and talk about how amazing the ecosystem approach works, Jason. Yeah. I'll say, yeah, go for it.
Well, that's true. But, my intention is not to really be a plug for the show.
Oh, okay.
But it's to be a plug to remove the negative energy in the world.
Right.
And as you start removing negative energy, it has a ripple effect. Now, there's one more thing, and we have just a minute to talk about it.
Okay.
And I've said this to a number of clients lately. It's like the 100 monkey principle, where they found that when monkeys start to learn how to wash their fruit in one part of the world, then monkeys in the opposite side of the world start to learn to do the same thing. Where does that come from? Well, because we are intuitive, we know these energies, how these energies work. When you start healing yourself, when you start uncovering yourself and healing those traumas, whether you say it explicitly to another person or not, you're helping to create a pathway for other people to follow you. And
what a gift.
If you want to start a movement, just start right where you are with you.
I love
and
it.
You have complete control over that.
Yes.
So we want to encourage you, invite you to start with that right now.
Okay. Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Always start with yourself, even if you have big aspirations to change the world. Physical healing does not remove negative energy that is the root cause of disease and illness.
Okay.
On Memorial Day, we honor the fallen who have defended our country and know that their sacrifices can last for generations.
Yes.
And start your own movement today by removing negative energy in your essence, starting right now.
That and I just want everyone to understand, starting with you today makes all the difference in the world, not only for yourself, but somebody else. And that matters.
Yes.
So, Jason, how do we do energy work?
Very simply, you use your imagination. When we say and to eliminate, you gather up whatever we say to eliminate, whether it's veils and illusions or different emotions, gather those up in your body and blow them into a trash can. If there's not a trash can next to you, if you're in the car, do it in an imaginary trash can in your mind's eye,
right?
And just take a gentle breath, breathe it out. It's that simple.
And then move on to the next
emotion.
The next emotion that we're working.
Statement.
Yes, exactly. So, all right. Then we're going to activate life force energy. By the way, the most powerful energy that there is. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice big deep breath and we're going to pull in life force energy right through the top of our head. We're going to let it go all the way down our torso. And that includes our arms as well, all the way down to the tips of our toes. I like to stop it right there and turn it around. And when I exhale my breath out, meaning I like to remove any negative energy left behind, because we all know we struggle to clean everything up. That's all there is to it. So, and by the way, we do see this energy as pure white light. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you get started clearing your essence for a better life right now, today. This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Do you want the knowledge and wisdom to understand where spirituality, science, and psychology intersect? Then join the Karmic Path Radio Show with Tina and Laura on TransformationTalkRadio.com Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. Follow this charmingly, disarmingly dynamic duo as they explore how psychic ability, spirituality, and karmic law tie together. For more information on Tina, Laura, and their groundbreaking work, visit thekarmicpath.com.
Celebrating 40 years of peace through music. Dr. Pat Baccili is thrilled to be partnering with Dudley and Dean Evanson, co-founders of Soundings of the Planet. Music and video created for peace and healing. Immerse yourself in benefits of music for meditation, relaxation, and stress reduction. This peaceful and meditative form of music is available for free on all streaming services. Search Dean Evanson on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, and iTunes, or visit soundings.com for more information.
Are you ready to finally feel empowered and knowledgeable in your political stance? Let Marsha Padilla-Goad educate you on exactly how important grassroots advocacy is in a relatable way to all parties and all perspectives. Tune in to Grassroots Advocacy Radio with Marsha every first Tuesday of the month at 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit DynamicsInPublicAffairs.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. We're going to start right now to help you get started clearing your essence right now. Jason, you ready to go?
Here we go.
All right.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see some energies that are blocking me and then start there. So gather up all those veils and illusions in your body. Take a gentle breath.
Blow
it into that trash can, that imaginary trash can. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that negative energy, in essence, applies to everything in life. Gather up those veils and illusions. Blow them into the trash can.
I'm sorry. I have a story here, Jason. And the story is going into the grocery line and the woman in front of you, you have a place to be. And the woman in front of you wants to stand and talk to the checker. You can clear the woman's neediness, and you would not believe how fast she'll get out of the store. Oh, did I say that? Okay, here we go. Here's another clearing. And to eliminate the barriers. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Don't tell all the tricks, yes.
Okay. And to eliminate all of the barriers so I can begin to see the blocking energies that are blocking me and clear those first. Take a nice breath. Jason, can you give an example of those blocking energies?
I'll make it in a clearing statement.
Okay.
And to eliminate impatience, whether it's in the checkout line or anything in my life that blocks me from getting what I want. Take a breath.
In other words, it's a diversion.
Yes.
Okay. Take a breath. That was a good one, really. So, and to eliminate the guilt and shame and unworthiness that affects everything in my life. Take a breath. By the way, this one I help people clear with money and relationships a lot. They don't see the guilt and shame they have about it, but I help them with that. Take another breath on that one, everybody.
And to eliminate the numbness and the confusion about guilt, shame, and unworthiness that affects my life.
Right.
Take a breath.
This just popped in. And to eliminate all the resentment that I have of other people telling me what to do and me being angry about it or taking it personally. Take a breath. Blow it out.
If you're listening now, I would take this recording and download it and listen to it over and over again, because these clearings are kind of universal. We don't ever do one size fits all, but these general things are things that we found over 20 years of experience happen to everybody. So
exactly.
Here we go. And to eliminate the fears, worries, and anxieties that I have about everything in my life or anything in my life. Right. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the hopelessness and helplessness and disappointment that I'm stuck in. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the doubt and the barriers to making a commitment to myself to start a movement right now with me, for me, by clearing the negative energy. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any fears, worries, and anxieties I have about a specific subject, such as money and relationships, family, health. Good one. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the fears, worries, and anxieties I have about that extra weight that I'm carrying, whether it's 1 pound, 10 pounds, 100 pounds, it doesn't matter.
Good.
Clear all the fears and worries, because that's what's connected to those fat cells. Take a breath.
And to eliminate all the blocks that are keeping me stuck and feeling trapped in excess weight. These feelings of being trapped and overwhelmed by it all do not serve me. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the stress and anxiety I have about my daily life that is negative energy and is toxic to me. Take a breath.
Here's a really good one, and everybody, this is great for everyone, whether you realize it or not. And to eliminate any obsessive, compulsive fear and anxiety I have in any part of my life or a particular part of my life, such as excess weight. Take a breath. Jason, you ready to activate some life force energy?
Let's do it.
All right. Follow me, everyone. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can use this energy for all that I need, want, desire, and deserve. Just take a nice breath. Pull it in right through the top of your head. Let it go all the way down to the tips of your toes.
See if you can feel how it feels.
Blow out any negative energy.
And to activate life force so I can respect my essence as the source of my power in my life.
Love it.
Take a breath.
All the way through your body. And to activate life force so I can trust working on the trauma in my essence so I can be the best and it can be the best, meaning working on it for everything in my life. Take a breath. Pull in life force energy. And to activate life force so that I can know working at the level of my essence is the most effective and efficient way to help me today. Take a breath. And to activate life force so I can activate happiness and hope, laughter and love and fun and joy and being healthy and creative for me right now. Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can love myself enough to be peaceful and happy right now.
Take a breath. In through the top of your head. So, Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
We're going to talk about pursuing objectives. One of the most common things that we've had over the years, people come to us and say, I want to be able to do X, Y, Z. And they want to achieve some objective. But is there a natural way to do it? There is. And we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
And how most conventional wisdom, especially around this topic, is false and even destructive. You know, and just a little bitty preview. Today on the news, it was all about the deaths of people who are trying to climb Mount Everest.
Yes.
So if you have a Mount Everest, we're going to talk about how you do it and
without killing yourself,
and how you may not want to. So,
yes. Okay. Okay. So if some part of you gets the importance of clearing your essence with the ecosystem approach, mark your calendar. The Living Lighter Radio is every week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't listen at that time, our show is recorded and you can go to our website, www.livinglighter.org, and look for the radio tab.
If you really want to have a better life and you need to make clearing constantly, consistently, and specifically a part of your life, to do that, there's one way to do that. And we've made it so simple for you. all you have to do is go to our website, www.livinglighter.org, go to the newsletter tab. All we ask for is your name and your email address. It's free. Sign up today, sign up right now, and there's always clearings in that newsletter, as well as some of the backstory about me and Patricia. And I love to tell secrets about Patricia in that story, in those newsletters. So, if you want the gossip, if you want the dirt, if you want the behind the scenes stuff, you can do that.
Okay. And now if you got a benefit today or had some fun, go like us on Facebook. Jason does like those likes. We're at livinglighter.org. And if you like us, then you can always preview, of course, the next show on our Facebook page every single week. We'll connect next Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio. You're listening to Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia.
Wishing you a lifetime of living lighter.
Thank you for listening to Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly as we discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information, visit our website at www.livinglighter.org.